Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today, we've got something special for you, a deep dive into the world of football and a breakdown of the top players for the 2023/2024 season. If you're as passionate about the beautiful game as we are, you're in for a treat. So, let's jump right into it. Football is an ever-changing meritocracy, and therefore, deciding the best player in the world at any precise moment is a difficult challenge. That title could theoretically change hands after any given match depending on the level of performance an individual footballer has produced, and yet allowing opinions to change with such volatility would lead to nothing but subjective anarchy. So, how exactly do we name the best player in the beautiful game at this very minute? Our criteria are as follows. To be the best player in the world at the moment, you have to first and foremost be established as a top-level talent but also have produced the goods consistently throughout an extended period of time. We've chosen the start of 2023. For those within that bracket, it then becomes a question of clear evidence of immaculate form, whether that's goals, assists, clean sheets or passing the eye test for all-round play, and perhaps most importantly, who and in what competition that has been delivered against. But also crucial is how much you've got to show for playing well. While ability, form and overall impact are integral considerations, winning silverware is a vital ingredient for any footballer who claims to be truly elite. So who is the best footballer in the world right now? Number 15. Sero Gyasi. He plays for Stuttgart in Guinea. It has become impossible to ignore a simply incredible goal-scoring year for Sero Gyasi, whose newfound firepower has transformed Stuttgart from a team that stayed up last season via the relegation playoffs to a Champions League qualification contending side so far in 2023-24. The Guinean striker's first 14 games of the Bundesliga season produced an insane 17 goals, including hat-tricks against Mainz and Wolfsburg and braces at the expense of Freiburg and Darmstadt. At the time of writing, he has racked up 19 goals in 16 games in all competitions. Very few players in any of Europe's top leagues will be working to a rate of more goals than games across a whole calendar year, and thus the phenomenon that is Gyasi takes a place in our top 15. Number 14. Alisson Becker. He plays for Liverpool and Brazil. Alisson is widely regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world and has been the backbone behind Liverpool's continuous quest for silverware in recent seasons. He's a consistently world-class goalkeeper and a particularly well-rounded one at that, being not only an exceptional shot-stopper but also dominant in his box, fearless when coming off his line and comfortable in the quarterback role when necessary. His composure and security at the back often help Liverpool start attacks, knowing they can rely on him if something goes wrong. He didn't secure a single individual honor in 2023, but he is still one of the best players in the world. Number 13. Cristiano Ronaldo. He plays for Al Nassr in Portugal. Despite moving to Al Nassr at the start of 2023, Cristiano Ronaldo has still stayed in the mainstream spotlight. He scored the most goals in 2023, 54, 2 ahead of his nearest rival, Harry Kane. He has helped put the Saudi Pro League on the map after joining at the start of 2023, yet the league is not as competitive as Europe's biggest leagues, which is why he is further down the list. Ronaldo won the Arab Club Champions Cup in 2023 with Al Nassr, whilst the Maradona Award highlighted his goal-scoring feat. At the age of 38, he is still one of the world's best strikers. Number 12. HeungMin Son. He plays for Tottenham and South Korea. After Harry Kane left Tottenham in the summer of 2023, people were not sure how they would cope. Kane was one of their greatest players of all time, but HeungMin Son has stepped up to the plate in remarkable fashion with 12 goals in the 2023-24 Premier League season at the time of writing, playing at left wing or at striker. He combines well with Richarlison, James Maddison, Brennan Johnson and Dejan Kulusevski, helping Spurs mount an unlikely top-4 charge. Tottenham failed to win a trophy in 2023 and that looks to be the case this year as well. Yet Son is still one of the best forwards around. Number 11. Vinicius Jr. He plays for Real Madrid and Brazil. Vinicius Jr. has been at the heart of Real Madrid's success in recent years. His elegance and skill on the wing have been crucial, although they failed to win either of the two major trophies, La Liga and Champions League, in 2023, which has had a knock-on effect on his ranking here. As of May 2, 24, he has 6 goals and 2 assists in the 2023/2024 La Liga season, which has seen him create a strong partnership with new teammate Jude Bellingham. Brazil featured in no major competitions in 2023 which he could win, but the 2024 Copa America will be in Vinicius' eyes. Number 10. Mohamed Salah. He plays for Liverpool and Egypt. 2023 was a frustrating year for Mohamed Salah. Liverpool finished 5th in the Premier League, exited the FA Cup and League Cup in the early rounds and were dumped out of the Champions League in the first knockout round. There weren't any major individual accomplishments to speak of either, and at one point it even looked as though he was open to quitting Anfield altogether to join Cristiano Ronaldo and company in the newly financially well-endowed Saudi Pro League. But when we reduce the argument of the world's best player to clear performance levels, very few have rivaled Salah since the start of 2023. In that time, he's notched 32 goals and 19 assists across all competitions, with some more notable achievements including a hat-trick of assists against Leicester City, for Premier League braces so far in the 2023/2024 Premier League season, a goal and an assist against Real Madrid in the Champions League, and goal involvements against title rivals Arsenal and Manchester City in the top flight. Number 9. Antoine Griezmann. He plays for Atletico Madrid in France. Antoine Griezmann has always been a phenomenal footballer, but a few underwhelming seasons at Barcelona seem to bump him out of the conversation of being arguably the best of the best after finishing 3rd in the Ballon d'Or in 2016 and 2018. Yet a permanent return to Atletico Madrid in 2022 has allowed the French World Cup winner to return to the form of old, and the last 12 months have been particularly fruitful for him. There have been 26 goals and 16 assists since the start of 2023, including a whopping 5 goals in the Champions League's group stages this season. It's worth taking note of that return for assists because Griezmann also produced the most key passes, most shot-creating and goal-creating actions of any player in the Spanish top flight last season. He was the best player in La Liga throughout the last calendar year, although clinching the silverware to demonstrate that has been a tougher task, with Atletico finishing 3rd in La Liga last season, while exiting the Champions League in the group stages and failing to get past the quarter-finals of the Copa del Rey. Nonetheless, at 32, Griezmann appears a player reborn, and after narrowly missing out on our previous rankings updates, the Frenchman's sustained form domestically and on the continent became impossible to ignore. Number 8. Laro Martinez. He plays for Inter Milan and Argentina. Laro Martinez is leading Inter Milan's charge for the Serie A title with nearly as many goals, 19, as starts, 20, in the competition at the time of writing. Of course, the Argentine excelling is nothing new. Martinez has been a phenomenal player for Nerazzurri ever since he was snapped up from South American football back in 2018, while he was also part of the Albiceleste squad that lifted the World Cup at the tail end of 2022, albeit losing significance in Lionel Scaloni's side as the competition went on. When Martinez is at his best, he can be unstoppable, and 2023 was another strong year for the 26-year-old. As well as 19 goals and 2 assists in all competitions for 2023-24, he managed 20 goals in 44 outings for club and country in the 2023 portion of last season. That includes goals in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Inter ultimately lost to Manchester City in the final, and 2 goals in the final of the Italian Domestic Cup, which Inter went on to win 2-1 against Fiorentina. He scored in the Supercoppa as well. Number 7. Harry Kane. He plays for Bayern Munich and England. He may be yet to win a single trophy as a footballer, although it should be mentioned that he has made 4 finals, but Harry Kane features on this list for one simple reason: he scored an absolutely phenomenal amount of goals in 2023. Despite leading the line for a Tottenham side that could only muster an 8th-placed finish in the Premier League last season, Kane finished up as the division's 2nd top scorer, including 17 strikes in 22 games following the turn of the year, and remains one of the best strikers in the competition's history. Kane then sealed a summer transfer to Bayern Munich, and his form since has somehow found an even higher level. He's so far recorded more goals than appearances, as well as a healthy supply of assists, including a simply incredible wonder goal versus Darmstadt from inside his own half. Seemingly destined to break his silverware duck at the Allianz Arena come the end of the season, 2023 was a strong year for Kane, but 2024 should be even better. Number 6. Kylian Mbappé. He plays for Paris Saint-Germain in France. 2023 wasn't a particularly impressive year for Kylian Mbappe, largely because PSG crashed out of the Champions League in the round of 16 against Bayern Munich, thwarting his ability to truly excel beyond predictably destroying any defense that domestic French football puts in front of him. On top of that, much of his on-pitch form continues to be overshadowed by uncertainty over his future at PSG. Nonetheless, Mbappe's form has still been lethal. He finished last season with 41 goals and 10 assists in 43 appearances across all competitions, with over half of those goals coming in the 2023 portion of the campaign. This term, the 2018 World Cup winner is still producing the goods with 29 strikes across all competitions, although goalless performances against Newcastle and AC Milan in the Champions League group stages certainly raised eyebrows. Number 5. Rodri. He plays for Manchester City in Spain. Defensive midfielders often don't get the credit they deserve, so when one stands out enough to be named the Champions League Player of the Season and finish 5th in the Ballon d'Or rankings, you know they're in stellar form. In truth, Rodri's performances are always of a consistently high standard, but his virtual ever-presence, a staggering 56 games in all competitions, as Manchester City won the treble, shone a spotlight on his unsung heroics, while the winning goal in the Champions League final, a typical cool finish from the edge of the box, thrust him to center stage. Also named the player of the tournament for the 2023 Nations League as Spain lifted the trophy, Rodri excelled for both club and country throughout last season. So far this term, Rodri's delivered as expected, averaging over 100 passes per game in both the Premier League and the Champions League, and already has more silverware to his name in the form of the European Super Cup and the Club World Cup. Number 4. Kevin De Bruyne. He plays for Manchester City in Belgium. Kevin De Bruyne missed the first 5 months of the 2023/2024 Premier League season due to injury, but he is now back to his best. On his return to the league, he helped Man City beat Newcastle 3-2 at St. James Park with a spectacular goal and stunning assist. He can create chances with the flick of a switch and swing crosses into the box naturally. In the 2022/2023 Premier League season, he finished with 7 goals and a remarkable 18 assists. He won't reach those levels now due to injury, but he will still shine under Pep Guardiola when fit. Number 3. Jude Bellingham. He plays for Real Madrid and England. It's hard to remember any player arriving at Real Madrid and having an immediate impact quite like Jude Bellingham has this season, let alone one that's still just 20 years of age. It's unfortunate the midfield maestro couldn't end his Borussia Dortmund career with a Bundesliga title after they missed out to Bayern Munich once again last season on goal difference, but that really doesn't change the fact it was a phenomenal year for Bellingham, who has shown on the big occasion time and time again. As well as consistently impressing in the Champions League and scoring or assisting against Scotland, Germany, and Italy while on England duty, Bellingham has somehow established himself as Real Madrid's de facto chief goalscorer, excelling in a false nine role that saw him score twice in October's El Clasico and 4 times in the Champions League group stage. Seemingly the total package as a footballer and ranked as the best young player in the world, few have impressed more since the start of 2023. Number 2. Lionel Messi. He plays for Inter Miami and Argentina. If the Qatar World Cup had finished a few weeks later, the greatest footballer who's ever lived probably would have topped this list quite comfortably. But sticking to our criteria means Messi's crowning as a world champion with Argentina unfortunately can't be taken into account. Nonetheless, it's still been a pretty impressive 14 months for the Barcelona legend. He finished his PSG career as a League One winner with 16 goals and 16 assists, the most goal creations of any player in the division, including 9 goals and 6 setups in the French top flight after the turn of the year. Messi was then elected for the unique challenge of turning Inter Miami into American soccer's new unstoppable force and achieved as much in a matter of months when he fired David Beckham's franchise to the 2023 Leagues Cup, scoring a ridiculous 10 goals in 7 appearances and a spot kick in the finals penalty shootout. The MLS might pale in comparison to European football in terms of quality, but the speed of Messi's impact and the attention it has generated around the world remains an impressive feat in itself. And then came a record 8th Ballon d'Or to celebrate not only another incredible Messi season, but also an incredible career. Winning another now seems unlikely, but so does anyone ever beating Messi's octet of the greatest individual accolade in the game. Number 1. Erling Holland. He plays for Manchester City and Norway. Erling Holland has not only demonstrated the form to rank him among the top players in the world, but also the achievements to go with it. Indeed, there may be a very fair debate over the Norway striker's overall qualities as a footballer in the purest sense of the word, but that really doesn't matter when nobody can stop you from scoring goals. Holland finished up as the Premier League and the Champions League's top scorer in 2022-23, also winning the European Golden Shoe, firing Manchester City to a Premier League, FA Cup, and Champions League treble. He also set a new record for most goals in a single Premier League season by somehow ending the campaign with 36 strikes in 35 appearances. Holland started the new season in equally strong form both domestically and in Europe, producing almost exactly a goal per game to take his overall tally to 19 goals in 22 appearances. So, even if other players may have slightly more nuanced claims to the top spot on this list, when you combine an unparalleled supply of accomplishments with an unparalleled supply of goals, it's difficult to look past Holland's imposing 6 feet 4 inches frame when determining the best player in the world right now. And there you have it, the rankings for the top players in the 2023/2024 season. Do you agree with our list? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting football content. Until next time, this is Rays of Sports, signing off.